The Brew House was created to capture and share with you the long history of the Genesee Brewery, but the brewery itself isn't half as interesting as the beer and the people who make it. Visit GeneseeBrewHouse.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. Toby Motyka in once again for Bill Pucko, joined by a similar cast of characters though. Mike Catalana, 13 WHAM Sports.
Good
we
to
know
be
each
back.
other well.
Yep.
Yeah. Pat Duffy, 96.5 WCMF, the Breakroom.
I don't like not being the biggest man on set, so if we could fix that for next week, I would appreciate that.
Fair enough. Speaking of that big man, NFL linebacker, Philadelphia Eagles linebacker, Rochester native Quentin Gause, our special guest this week. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I guess to this note, this is the last time we're going to have you for a little while because you're getting ready to head off to training camp. It's coming, man. It's officially here. What's the feeling for you right now?
Man, I am ready. I mean, it's been, 4 weeks since they released us from the facility, and now, it's almost time to go. So I'm ready. I have to solidify my spot. I'm ready to go in there and just do my job.
I've talked to you about this in the past, but there's a certain amount of roster spots that are taken up by veterans, by high draft picks. So what do you do as an undrafted rookie free agent to try to make yourself stand out to coaches and make you a guy that they can't afford to lose?
Well, I show them what my value is, and my value is, I'm a guy that outworks anybody. I'm a guy who sits in the film room and studies all day long. I stay in the building, like I'm first one in, last one out. That type of guy. Always meeting with the coaches, kind of being annoying in a good way. So that's what I bring to the table, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do everything I can to make the roster, and I will make the roster.
I feel like, Mike, I know I can speak for you here, that we believe him when he says he can outwork everybody, right?
Wow, and that's what it's going to take there too, because you need to get their attention. And the thing about it, you guys know I've followed the Eagles for many decades now. But the one thing about that franchise is they have 3 pretty good starting linebackers. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, and I constantly will read, I'm looking for your name all the time when I'm reading this, and it's in there, people are mentioning you. The idea is who's going to step up there and not really worrying about numbers. But in this case, with this team, you get noticed there. There are absolutely spots open with this team.
Yeah. There's everything right now is open. And, we have, as a rookie coming in, I have to show that, first off, I got to show I can play special teams. Yeah. And second off, can I play on defense? And, that's what it's going to take, in training camp and these preseason games, going out and balling on the field and showing them that, they need me.
Well, we're right around the corner from Bill's training camp here, and, we're all there live. What struck me in the past few years is the difference between the talent and the players, whether drafted or undrafted, it's not much. It's the guys that can go out there and not be intimidated by the names that they've seen before. And I feel like that's got to be the biggest challenge, is you're playing guys that you grew up watching and not standing there with your mouth open the whole time.
Right.
So what is it like to stand there on a field? You had the rookie mini camp, and it's rookies. It's college guys that you saw in college. What is it like standing there on the field next to proven NFL football players, beyond just, a Carson Wentz who's a high-profile draft pick, but next to guys who've been in the league, been Pro Bowlers in this league, and been there and done that? Well,
you respect them, as players. Coming in, the first day, I'm like, wow, I'm here finally. And then, once you're there for a couple of weeks, then you blend in and you just get, this is your job and this is what you got to do. Yes, I'm around great players I've seen on TV as a kid, but this is what I want to do now. Now I got to solidify my spot. That's what goes through.
And the interesting thing for Quentin, obviously, and he knows this going in, transitional year for that franchise in a lot of ways, especially with the defense. And Bills fans know his defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, who was a guy that a lot of people miss in Buffalo because of the way he handled defense. What's it like playing for him?
He's a great guy, energetic guy, loves the game of football. I love playing for him.
Quentin, kind of the first in the next wave of great Rochester athletes. We'll talk more about some more of those guys coming up next on the Rochester Press Box.
For over 25 years, Hillside Works Scholarship Connection has empowered youth to embrace their dreams of college and careers. Thanks to a dedicated staff and employment partners, every year Hillside helps more than 4,000 young men and women move closer to their life goals. The Buffalo Bills Quote of the Week was brought to you by the Rochester Geico Office. Give the Rochester Geico team a chance to see how much you could save on all your insurance needs. Call or stop by the office on West Henrietta Road, open Monday through Saturday.
All right, Geico Quote of the Week, Mike. LaShawn McCoy not facing any discipline.
Well, I'm glad the NFL said this and got it done before training camp. Even though we knew there was not going to be any charges, it went to a second level, still no charges with McCoy. You never know at the NFL. And all of a sudden something would pop up and say he's going to get a game or two, and you have to deal with that. So good for McCoy, good for the Bills. They move forward.
It's a big deal that LaShawn McCoy is going to be in training camp ready to play. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This segment brought to you by the Hillside family of agencies. Guys, let's talk about Rochester athletes in general right now. Quentin, you're kind of this next wave here. We've got guys like Brian Gianta, Ryan Callahan, people in the pros right now who've been there for a while. Then it seemed like there was kind of this lull, and now all of a sudden it feels like there's a surge coming up. What's been the difference, I guess, in the last few years in the youth movement here in Rochester that seems to be producing these high-profile kids coming out of here?
Well, I think these after-school programs that have been created, like my program, Next Level Beyond, there's another program called CTC. Everybody's, basically working together to be able to help, get our youth understand what they have to do to be able to make it to that next level. Even if it's D1, D1, D2, D3, it doesn't matter. But how hard, you got to work to get to the next level, if, career-wise or NFL-wise. And I think guys are starting to get that concept now. And you're seeing these athletes just, starting to dominate at the college ranks. And I think it's just amazing to see like a Jerron Jones. You got guys like, Bruce Johnson, he made it to the Eagles now, but tons of different guys are just they're showing that they can play at this next level. And I just love that this movement is happening.
I think that's what's cool to watch, right? Is we've had people going to big colleges here for a while, but now you have people playing, and in some cases, even dominating.
Well, you brought it up earlier. I think it's simple what's happening here. The Gianta brothers, Jake, the Jameer, Jamal, it's Aquinas, right? It seems like, but even all the private parochial schools here in Rochester, whether it's Kearney, whether it's McQuaid, whether it's Aquinas, whether it's a Finney school like that, North Star, these kids getting together and showcasing talents with each other is really, they're able to do things with superior teammates that they may not be able to do on other teams. It's making them look better, and I think it's giving them a better look. You played on teams like that. You would be able to tell us better than anybody.
Yeah, it's. What I think it is, I think once a lot of the kids now are going out of state for these camps and being able to get exposure, and I think that's what's been helping as well, instead of just staying in state. Because like upstate New York is a little harder to get seen. You just have Syracuse and Buffalo, and then you got these other schools that we would love to come up here, but since we got guys traveling out of state, traveling to Florida, we got a guy named CJ Turner here that goes to Eastridge that he just came from a Villanova camp, or he went to a Syracuse camp or Florida camp, and he's getting exposure. And that's what is making a difference now. That wow, upstate New York, this is we have talent up there. So
yeah, and it's important though too, because guys will see somebody like Quentin making it into the league, right? And you look at there's other ways. Look at like Brian Parker. He went to Albany and he's made it into the NFL and he's working that way. And I think we've seen it in hockey for years because we know we've had guys. We see it in golf. You say to yourself, Rochester, New York, you make it in golf? Well, Jeff Sluman did it, and now we have another wave of guys. I think when these young guys see that and they see the work ethic, Thomas Bryant will do it from Indiana to the NBA. I think it's awesome in that way. It's a shame it's been a bit of a stretch, but Roland Williams made it, got into the NFL from East High and then through Syracuse. And I think these examples are the biggest thing.
He's got what you want, right?
Yeah,
he's got that ring.
You forgot about Kevin McMahon, Aquinas class of 2002, Mr. Irrelevant Oakland Raiders. No big deal. I just want to clear that up.
So Aquinas guys isn't doing well, and then
what are you doing?
Hanging out with you guys.
Hey, like it or not, coming up next here on the Rochester Press Box.
As we go to break, it is time for the Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning Trivia Question of the Week. When you're searching for a local heating and air conditioning contractor, look no further than one of the most reliable teams in the area at Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning. Is called Turnbull at 343-2005. As we come back from the break, time for the answer to the Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning Trivia Question of the Week. When you're searching for a local heating and air conditioning contractor, look no further than one of the most reliable teams in the area at Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning. Just call 343-2005. See New York in a whole new way. Amtrak is offering a 15% discount for all travel inside New York State and to Montreal. Visit Amtrak.com for the See New York discount. Safe, comfortable, affordable, and easy. Amtrak. Enjoy the journey.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. This segment brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Amtrak, enjoy the journey. Like it or not. Pat, let's start with you. Patriots, still the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, even with Tom Brady now almost certainly missing 4 games.
As a Bills fan, I want to say they're wrong, but let's look at recent history. You have Matt Castle taking over for Tom Brady for an entire season a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. A team that was a better team than this one, and they won 11 games. Brady's only going to miss 4 games maximum this season. He's going to have a chance to come back and go 10-2, which, let's be honest, we know he can do that. I can't say that if he gets hot, if they get hot with 2 weeks to go in the regular season, why, yeah, I would still pick them. It hurts me to say it, but I would still pick New England to win the Super Bowl.
He's going to miss a game against the Buffalo Bills. Can you imagine the anger, I guess, that would come out of Ralph Wilson Stadium if the Bills managed to not win that game?
They did it twice in that year with Matt Castle. I mean, listen, nothing's guaranteed. We've never seen Jimmy Garoppolo play. And let's be real. When, was it Mo Wilkerson who Mo Lewis destroyed Drew Bledsoe's spleen? No one had ever heard of Tom Brady before. Right. I mean, it could be the same situation. And Matt Castle got a monster free agent deal out of relieving Tom Brady.
I know you said nothing's guaranteed, but a couple weeks ago you guaranteed something. Like it or not, Mike, when Pat guaranteed the Bills were going to the playoffs this season.
Well, that's a tough bet to take because, I mean, it's been, almost 2 decades since
why not bring it up? Why not bring it up again?
I do believe this. I think they're going to be a better team this season than they were last year. I think the quarterback is a good player who is going to get better. He's got to stay healthy. Obviously, that's a huge thing for them. And I have to believe Rex is going to get this defense playing better. And I'm not normally schedule guy. And I said this to you, I'm not normally the guy that says, yep, going into the year. But you start to look how it's mapping out. Those road games on the West Coast, 3 of them, I think it makes it a little more difficult. They've been so good in the division. 4-2 the last 2 years. 4-2, and they still haven't been able to get in the playoffs. That's the thing. Can they win the games, all the games they're supposed to win, and steal 1 or 2 more? You go 4-2 in the division again and do that. A year ago, they would have been in the playoffs if they would have done it. Didn't get that done. So we'll see how it maps out, but I think it's a tough guarantee.
And I know last year, I still go back to that London game, that Jacksonville game, where they make the comeback, they take the lead, and then...
Corey Grant, why do you let him get loose in the end zone like that? It's like 5 yards of a difference.
See what you have to deal with fans. See?
Oh, just wait.
Philly fans are calm, though. You won't have to worry about that at all.
They've never booed Santa Claus before. Never,
it's been a while. Yeah.
Get out your phone, Quentin, because like it or not, is there a Pokemon in here? Is it Pokemon Go?
So I see that. Let me see.
Right now, just him.
Okay, I'm tossing the Pokeball right now, and okay, no, there's no Pokemon.
Beard's already. Yeah, do you like this thing or not? Because I feel I haven't downloaded it. I'm a big gamer, and I haven't touched it yet.
So I think it seems like a really nice game. I mean, right now there's nothing in the area, but I think it's a nice game. I mean, like it makes you really feel like, like when you play Pokemon Gold, Red, when you're a younger kid.
Oh, yeah.
And now you actually have the actual, you can play in real life now and catch them like while you're on the street or on the highway. And I don't know if you guys heard about that on the highway. Some people are doing silly things like in silly areas. I think somebody was killed actually on somebody's property because of the game.
Goodness.
So it has its fun times and I think it has its bad times.
We were live on the air the other day. We're doing a radio show. Doors open. Someone who was in the lobby walks in the middle of the show looking for there's a Charizard in here. I don't know what the heck that is. Get the heck out of the studio. We're doing a live radio show.
That wasn't Tommy? No.
People are trying to hop the fence to the White House to get Pokemon.
What?
They're trying to get to the White House. And so you got these little kids walking around downtown. It's like zombies. The zombie apocalypse is
okay.
here.
Speaking of kids, I read somewhere where somebody was saying, well, this is good. It's getting kids outside. Please, don't give me that. Let them exercise a little bit. Let them get outside and do something. Then go play your games. If that's what it takes to get them outside, walking around like a zombie holding the phone, I think we need to refocus a little bit.
I'm going to look for more Pokemon during the break. Unfinished business when we come back.
The Rochester Press Box Stat of the Week, brought to you by Cariglio's Pizza, with 5 locations serving the Rochester area. Visit carigliospizza.com today. Keep on savoring Dunkin' Donuts' new maple sausage breakfast sandwich, made with sweet maple sausage and Wisconsin-aged white cheddar cheese. America runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This segment brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Unfinished business. Pat, what do you got?
Training camp starts in a matter of days here at St. John Fisher College, and you should take advantage of this. If you're a dad, a mom, you have young kids that are football fans, the NFL sends NFL franchises to Buffalo so they can see how well training camp is done here. They're trying to use Buffalo, St. John Fisher College, as a model for all NFL training camps. And I'll say it like this, that doesn't really matter to me, because I can remember being a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid, and my dad taking me out to SUNY Fredonia, so we could watch Bills camp there. And it was a snow fence, and it was 3 poles that were up for a goalpost, and that was it. And it's the best memories of my life. Seeing Thurman Thomas right in front of me, Jim Kelly, Fred Smerlas, all those guys. Do yourself a favor and create some memories with your kids this summer, because their superstars are literally within striking distance. They can touch them, get autographs, talk to them, have a good time, and it's going to cost you $1 to get on a bus. Do yourself a favor, take a day off of work if you can, go on a Saturday, grab the kids, head on down to Fisher, and we'll see you there broadcasting live with the Breakroom.
You bet. Yeah, we criticized the Bills for their new media policy this offseason. Their training camp, very intimate, a great setting in terms of the location, the fans. It really is good.
And the fans get to be there at all those practices. I mean, they have a few walkthroughs. It's a little different for Quentin down with the Eagles. They only have a few open practices. They'll have them at camp. So you do get a rare opportunity, and it's about 3 weeks. It goes pretty fast, but it's about 3 weeks to go see the Bills.
All right. Quentin, what do you got?
So what I have is, instead of going playing Pokemon Go, come on down to Next Level Beyond at World Gym of Rochester. Bring your kids. Under summertime, perfect time to come in. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30. Go to 9 o'clock. Come and work out.
That's a good way to put it. You want to sell something, just stand up and flex for a second. put on your Eagles jersey. Because if you want to be able to sell something, we talked about it a couple segments ago, is you made it. You are an example, a breathing example of someone recently that has made it in Rochester. You want to end up looking or being like Quentin, you got to put in the work too, right?
It's a lot of hard work that goes into it. I mean, a lot of people don't see what I do and what my brothers do, what CJ does, and behind doors. I mean, it's a lot of work that you put into it, but at the end of the day, you see the results.
But you also get results for kids who aren't planning on a big-time pro football career too, coming to your program.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like I said, D3, D2, D1, whatever it is. The main focus is all about overcoming adversity. And that helps you overcome anything in life.
Syracuse University made an official hire this week when they brought in John Wildhack to be the new athletic director at SU. I think it's a great choice. It's a smart choice. It's a different choice. This is a guy who's an SU grad, which I think is important for that university, who spent 36 years at ESPN. You go, why is an ESPN executive coming to be an athletic director? Well, the world of big-time college sports has changed, and you need someone who understands that landscape and the relationship between big-time universities and the TV world and the leagues in which they exist. And I think it's a good choice. But I think one thing you need to keep in mind, he is friendly, and I will say friends, with Jim Boeheim. And Jim Boeheim had a big smile on his face when he was talking about and with John Wildhack as coming into SU. I don't think he wants to leave anytime soon. He sort of made it be known. He's maybe a little more open-ended to how long he will stay. Mike Hopkins got a small window to coach that team. That window may be closing just a little bit. We'll see how Jim Boeheim does, but another year and a half may not be the time he's ready to get out at SU.
Do we feel bad for Hopkins right now?
A little bit,
yeah.
But if you're an SU fan, I think there's a lot of SU fans who liked what Jim Boeheim's done in the last year or so, and maybe they're not quite ready for the transition. You may not be one of them.
A little bit?
Pick your jaw up off the floor.
How long has Hopkins been there for?
Long time.
Over 20 years as now an assistant.
Okay, and for 15 years, he's been the coach in waiting. And Boeheim, let's be real, he doesn't look great. He looks like he could keel over at any minute, and I would not be upset with Mike Hopkins if he came out and said, hey, I kind of want him to keel over at any minute. They promised him the job. He recruits like crazy. He's a good basketball coach, and he's never going to coach at Syracuse University, minus those games that he got when Boeheim got suspended. It's a crying shame.
Starting to look like that might be the case.
Could be.
All right, let's wrap it up. Mike, thank you for joining us. See you soon.
Yep.
I'll see you soon too, I guess.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you being here, Pat. And Quentin, get one of those split jerseys, Eagles, Giants on either side. You can just get him an Eagles
Just
jersey.
Eagles, that's fine, yeah.
Thank you for joining us on the Rochester Press Box this week.